How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Countdown video. We only have 57 days left until the game's release on December 7th, and today we'll be talking about two supposed leaks. As always, and I cannot stress this enough, we have no idea if these leaks are true or not, so make sure you take them both with a grain of salt and realize that I'm talking about them just for fun. If you'd like to read along while I talk, you can find a link to both of the original posts in the description bar down below, and now, with all of that out of the way, I have one thing I need to tell you guys. So before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that both of today's leaks come from 4chan and they are both text leaks. So if you guys don't want to watch, you can go ahead and click off the video right now. But if you want to stay and listen to these two potential leaks, we can jump into them right now. So the first leak that I wanted to take a look at today comes from 4chan and it is titled Smash Ultimate Leak and it is posted by Lurking Lampant. It starts by saying, "Hello, I've tried this 3 times now, and if it doesn't work, I will give up on giving out this information. Now, we all know that there will not be a lot of fighters coming to the battle, and to confirm this, there will be 4 more fighters, 3 newcomers, and 1 Echo. Those being, in terms of the newcomers, we have Zeno, Incineroar, and Bandana Waddle Dee. In terms of the Echo fighters, the only one we're going to get is Ken from Street Fighter. Well, there is a few more things to cover. I will just spill this info out, but I'm guessing you'll understand what I'm talking about. In terms of stages, we will be getting 5 more. First of all, we'll be getting Forest Maze from Super Mario RPG, then Dream Palace from Kirby, Battle Royale from Pokemon, Rainbow Road from Mario, and Port Town Arrow Drive from F-Zero. After that, we move on to the new assist trophies, so the only one he mentions is Marks. He flies around the screen dropping bombs and balls. When he starts to disappear, he turns into a black hole and KOs any fighter that is max rage or more. After that, we move on to the new Pokemon. So first of all, we're going to be getting Seviper. It slithers around the stage, wrapping around fighters that come in contact. When it attacks, it uses Poison Fang, dealing damage up front and then some with a poison effect. After that, he talks a little bit about Spirits Mode. Now, before I say anything, my source did not want to give me all of the answers. He wants it to be somewhat of a surprise to me too. He did not give me any info on Spirits besides the fighters that it lets you unlock. So according to him, the characters you are going to be able to unlock through Spirits are Mega Man, Luigi, King Dedede, Roy, Falco, Captain Falcon, Dr. Mario, and Sheik. That's all I have for you now. I will update when/if my sources give me more information. Stay on the lookout. So now that we've gone over this entire leak, let's talk about it a little bit. So first of all, according to this leaker, apparently he's tried to post this information 3 times now, and each time it's been taken down. Now, if this is true, we have no way to prove it, because we have no idea if he actually has tried to post it and if it gets taken down or not, so we're gonna not take that as any source of credibility and just go ahead and move on to the newcomers. So all 4 of these characters are characters that we have talked about a lot on this channel, so we're just gonna go ahead and talk about each one a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to the new stages. So first of all, we have Zeno, and once again, at this point, a lot of people are speculating that he's gonna make it in. Sakurai has stated before that he wanted to put Zeno in the game, and he also got his own splash screen plus Mii costume in Smash 4, which means he is very likely to make it into Smash Ultimate. After that, we have Incineroar, and for those of you guys who don't know, a while back, a leaker by the name of Vergaben actually leaked that Incineroar was going to be the Gen 7 Pokemon rep. Now, a lot of people are starting to doubt Vergaben's credibility, but honestly, I still think he does have some, and I honestly believe that Incineroar is going to make it in as the Gen 7 Pokemon rep. He's very widely used in the Pokemon VGC, and he honestly has a really cool design, so hopefully he does end up making it in. Then we move on to Bandana Waddle Dee, and once again, he's another one of those characters that does have a chance of making it into Smash. For those of you guys who aren't too well versed in the Kirby franchise, Bandana Waddle Dee has become the permanent player 4. The 4 characters that you can play as in any Kirby game are Kirby, Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Bandana Waddle Dee. Bandana Waddle Dee is the only one of the main 4 Kirby characters that hasn't made it into Smash yet, so at this point, I believe that it's very likely that he's going to make it in. And finally, we have Ken as an Echo Fighter for Ryu, and once again, Vergaben did leak that Ken was going to make it in as an Echo Fighter for Ryu. Now, Ken is also the original Echo Fighter. A lot of his moves are extremely similar to Ryu's, and honestly, they wouldn't have to put a ton of work into making him, like, a little bit different from Ryu, so I could totally see this happening. At this point, I think Ken is the most likely Echo Fighter, but Sakurai is pretty unpredictable, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So now we're going to move on to stages, and I wanted to talk about them really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to Spirits mode. So in terms of the stages, I found this really interesting because each of the newcomers is getting their own stage. Geno is getting Forest Maze, Bandana Waddle Dee is getting Dream Palace, and Incineroar is getting Battle Royale. However, Ken isn't getting a stage, which I guess makes sense just because it doesn't seem like Echo Fighters are deserving of their own stage, and Ken can just kind of like bounce off of Ryu's stages. He can use Ryu's stages for boss battles and CPU battles and all that kind of stuff, so I understand where they're coming from, and I'm glad each of the unique newcomers is getting their own stage. So now let's move on to Spirits mode. So I found this really interesting because it doesn't give us any information other than the few characters that you can unlock. Now, right away, this makes me a little bit skeptical because if this guy is getting information from an actual source, why didn't we get any information about Spirits mode at all? Like, why did we only hear about the characters we could unlock? Why do we not know who we could play as or anything like that? Personally, that's kind of a red flag for me, but let's keep going. So next he talks about how you can unlock just a few of the characters from Spirits mode. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Sakurai said it was going to be a more streamlined way to unlock characters, which means I just really don't trust this leak right now. It doesn't really make sense that you can only unlock 7 or 8 characters from story mode, because how are you going to unlock the rest? This is what's making me pretty skeptical about this leak right now, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And now that we've gone over this entire leak and talked about it a little bit, do I believe that it's real? Honestly, probably not. The biggest red flag for me was the Spirits mode. It really doesn't sound interesting to me, especially if you can only unlock like 7 or 8 characters. Like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like the new story mode is going to be a streamlined way to unlock many different characters, and it's not just going to let you unlock a couple of them. Personally, I'm not 100% sure, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. And now let's move on to the next leak. So the next leak that we're going to take a look at comes from 4chan, and it is titled Smash Ultimate Leak, and it is posted by Anonymous. It starts by saying, I worked for a private company that specializes in creating advertisements for various products, the type of ads on the sidebars for websites. We were commissioned to do marketing for Super Mario Party. This was about 2 months ago. Apparently we did a good job because last week Nintendo told us to do the same thing for Smash Ultimate. They provided us with many assets, high-res renders, screenshots, etc., and info about the game. Unfortunately, last Friday I was laid off due to cutbacks. I was able to gain some information surrounding Smash Ultimate, however. Didn't see anything about Spirits mode, but there is a big story mode called Worlds Collide. I'm assuming they are the same thing, but I can't be sure. I do know that Worlds Collide has over 15 bosses. Then we move on to the unrevealed Echo Fighters. First of all, we have Impa as an Echo Fighter for Sheik, Shadow as an Echo Fighter for Sonic, Ness looking guy from the Mother series, kinda looks like Ness, but I'm not sure of his name, so that's Ninten. Then we have Ken as an Echo Fighter for Ryu, and Alex as an Echo Fighter for Steve. Then we move on to the unrevealed fighters. First of all, we have Skull Kid, then Steve, then Isaac, and finally Geno. That's all I have for you today. I apologize that I couldn't get any images for you, but I hope this can suffice. Have a good day. So now that we've gone over the entire leak, let's talk about it a little bit. So right off the bat, I found this leak interesting and I wanted to cover it because we haven't covered any leaks from potential advertisers yet. So a lot of times when we cover leaks, people will say they work for Nintendo or they have a friend in Nintendo, but apparently this is a guy that makes advertisements for games. We know that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is less than 2 months away, which means they have already started working on their advertisements. At this point, the game is done, so they need to start making marketing campaigns and stuff like that to get information out to the people that might not know about the Switch and Smash Ultimate yet. Personally, I found this leak extremely interesting. However, we cannot confirm the validity of whether or not this guy actually works there, so let's just keep talking about the new characters and new story mode. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the new story mode. Apparently it's called Worlds Collide, and other than that, the only piece of information we get about it is that it's going to have over 15 bosses. I know a lot of people are dead set on it being called Spirits because they enhanced the image of it during the Smash Direct, but how do we know that Sakurai wasn't trying to throw us off? Whenever Sakurai talks about how many different characters are in the game and how many different franchises and stuff like that, he always says that now worlds will collide and you can have great battles. So why wouldn't the story mode be called Worlds Collide? Personally, I think it sounds really good, and honestly, if that's what it is, I really hope it's what it is, because it really does sound good. So now let's move on to the unrevealed Echo Fighters. So first of all, we have Impa from Skyward Sword as an Echo Fighter for Sheik. So for those of you guys who don't know, in the Ocarina of Time game, Impa was actually the person that trained Zelda to become Sheik, so it would be super easy for them to make her into an Echo Fighter for Sheik. Personally, I think we need more Zelda representation that isn't a part of the main three, the Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf, and if she made it in, that would be extremely awesome. Next up we have Shadow, and I've talked about Shadow so much on this channel, I'm not going to say much, other than I think that he is the second most likely Echo Fighter to make it into the game. After that, we have the Ness looking guy, which is supposed to be Ninten, and for those of you guys who don't know, Ninten is actually a character from Earthbound that a lot of people really want in the game. I'm not too sure how he would work as an Echo Fighter, but I know a lot of people think that since they look the same and have the same body composition and everything like that, that they could totally put him in the game, and since we don't have much Mother/Earthbound representation, I would be really happy if they made it in. Next we have Ken, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about him because we just talked about him, but just know I think he's going to be in the game. And then finally we have Alex as an Echo Fighter for Steve. So right away, I'm pretty surprised at this. We all know that we are going to get some kind of Minecraft representation in Smash Ultimate, but I'm just not too sure if Minecraft is going to get a new character alongside an Echo Fighter. However, at the same time, Castlevania got a newcomer plus an Echo Fighter, so I guess anything's possible at this point. I think Alex would be super cool, and if we did get Steve, I would be okay if we got Alex as well. Then we move on to newcomers, and the first one on this list is Skull Kid. So just like with Impa, I believe that we need more Zelda representation outside of Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf, and I think that Skull Kid has the potential for an extremely good moveset. Not only that, we have gotten some hints from Sakurai that could point towards his inclusion, so if he does make it in, I think that would make a lot of people happy. Then we have Steve from Minecraft, and he's kind of like 50-50 at this point. I know we just talked about him with Alex, but at the same time, we have no idea if he's going to make it in. Vergaben leaked that we are going to get some kind of Minecraft representation in Smash, but he didn't specify what it was. However, Minecraft is one of today's biggest franchises of all times, and if he does make it in, I think it would make a lot of people happy, and also he's iconic enough to make it in. We've had Minecraft on Nintendo systems before, so honestly, I think that Steve does have a way to make it into the game, and if he doesn't make it in on the base roster, I would bet that he would make it in as DLC. After that, we have Isaac from Golden Sun, and there is definitely some controversy surrounding him. So a lot of people really want him, and apparently he did really well on the Smash ballot, but a lot of people think that he should just stay as an assist trophy. Personally, I believe that we should get some kind of Golden Sun representation in Smash Ultimate as a character instead of an assist trophy, but I know a lot of people are really against it, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And then finally, we have Zeno, and once again, I talked about him a lot in the last league, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just know I believe that he's going to make it in. So now that we've gone over this entire leak, do I believe it's true? Honestly, probably not, but it does sound really good. Worlds collide and all these new characters make it sound awesome, but we gotta keep our expectations realistic, right? So before we go, I want you guys to go check out the description as well as the pinned comment to follow me on Twitter and Patreon and join my Discord. Now make sure you guys check those out, and I just wanted to say thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.